Australia. Hey, Will, how you doing, brother?
Hey guys, I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me.
Good, good. Before we talk to Will and talk about black whiskey, I got to talk to you out there for a moment. Now, first off, is I want to thank each and every one of you checking out the No Cover TV podcast, and of course, back in the day, the TV show, the radio station, and now the podcast. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart from all of you out there checking out the show. We're at almost 50 countries and we're growing. I mean, we're all over the place. And it's about getting the story out and the music out of these musicians. And remember, No Cover TV is nonprofit. I will never charge any artist to come on TV, radio, or podcast to get your music or story out. It's never about the money to me. It's about the music. Always, always about the music, definitely. This is a great thing. And before I continue on, I got some people I got to thank. And I got my paper in front of me instead of trying to remember stuff because getting old, kind of sucks. You kind of forget things sometimes. Oh, yeah, I think Will's understanding that one. So, anyways, I got to thank Sandra from De La Parra Entertainment. Sandra, dear, I thank you so much for sending me people. Also, Andrea Hall Music Management. We got Oz from Blindfolded International Management. We got Legion Entertainment, Round the Clock PR, SBM Global Media, The Sound Lab, and of course, Brian Moore from Curtain Call Records. Thank you, Brian, because I think, Brian, you sent me black whiskey. Will right here. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Brian, from the bottom of my heart. Great guy, Brian is. We have a lot of time. We chat quite a bit, me and Brian. So, anyways, before I get started, I don't know if Will knows my three favorite words, but everybody out there, you know what I'm going to say. Let me catch my breath first. My three favorite words are what? Support, support, support. Support these artists. Go to their shows. Pay a cover charge if there is one. Then get to their swag table. Get that album, that EP, that CD, whatever they got. T-shirts, hoodies, glasses, mugs, keychains, bumper stickers. I've even seen girls' panties with the band's names on it. Oh my, oh my. Times are getting weird, my friends. But anyways, buy it all. Get a knapsack, just buy it all. Then get out to that stage and enjoy that show and see if you can stick around and meet these wonderful artists. Get an autograph if you can, because in my book, they're all going straight to the top. They are with their music, definitely. And remember, these artists here love doing what they're doing to put a smile on your face, and your smile kicks right back to them and puts a big old grin and smile on the artist's face, doesn't it? Well,
Absolutely.
yes, indeed, my friend. In my book, the music makes the world go around. It's a beautiful thing. Definitely, it does. All right, so let's get to Will from Black Whiskey. Will, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing really, really well, my friend. Thank you very much. Really well.
Great, great, great. So you're up in Brisbane, Australia.
That's right. Halfway up the East Coast. Weather's fine, looking good, getting hot, which I like.
Right, like I told you before we started, we got 3 seasons here. Hot, hotter than hell. Oh my goodness, it gets hot here. Yes, but I love it. I love it definitely, my friend. So we got quite a bit to chat about. Oh, we're going to be all over the board, brother.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now, the band Black Whiskey. You've got it's a 5-piece band, isn't it?
It is now. We started out with the guitar, bass, and drums and a singer. And just recently we've added a second guitar, which is working out the sound quite nicely.
Ooh, and now you play bass, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, you play the bass, 5 or 4 string.
Only got 4 fingers.
So he plays the 4 string, obviously. So now bass players, there's pretty much 3 techniques of playing. You're picking, plucking, or you're slapping it. Are you incorporating all of it, or you just got one technique?
Well, I used to play with a pick when I first started playing, all the time. But,
Right on.
when I sort of started to get serious about it, then 10 years ago, I tried playing with a pick, but it felt uncomfortable. So I've gone back to. I actually use my fingernail as a pick, or I'll actually just I'll play with my fingers. Steve Harris is a big influence on me, so I sort of look a bit more.
Cool. All right. Now we're gonna chat a little bit. Now I can't. Let's do this before we start. Could you introduce all the band members for me?
Sure. Okay, so I'm the most important one, being the bass player. We've got Mark on drums, Marky Mark. Uh, Dan on guitar, lead guitar. Our newest addition, Shinbone on rhythm guitar. And our illustrious, I'm not going to say leader, our singer is Al.
It's great. That's wonderful, man. Now, how long has Black Whiskey been together?
Well, Black Whiskey is a project originally that Al had put together a few years back with different lineups and stuff like that sort of didn't eventuate into too much. And then 2000, I'd known Al like previous 2016, and we tried to do something. And I just lived too far away at the time to do the commute to and from rehearsal. I said, look, it's not working. It's just, let's just part ways and see what happens. So he tried doing something. It didn't work. So we were both sort of in limbo as far as bands went. And I just got in touch with him. I said, dude, what are you doing? He said, nothing. I said, well, let's put a band together. And we got the lineup that we've got currently, and we've had it 2018. We've had it ever since.
Okay. So now are you kind of closer together now, the band?
Yeah, we hate each other.
Doesn't that? That's how it works, it seems.
Yeah, we're pretty much we are a close knit group. We get on really well. There's you have your differences and all that. As anyone in a family or situation or group situation, and you just punch it out. But no, we just sit down and discuss stuff, and it works. So I said to the guys, this lineup that we've had since its inception in 2018 has just worked. I mean, very rarely you have a situation where we put this lineup together, we learnt a couple of songs that we'd already written, went into a rehearsal studio, and in 6 weeks we were opening for Stryper.
Wow, Stryper, no kidding, man. That's great, man. Great band, Stryper. Wow, woo, man.
Great.
So wow, incredible. All right. So I before we talk about music anymore, since nobody else is around, I want to pick on you. Okay.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to find a way to get inside your mind of yours. Can I do that?
You got the key.
We unlock it. We're going to get in Will's head here. All right, Will. Basically, I want to know about you. And I want to take you back to when you were young, okay? Around, let's go 8 to 10, maybe 7 to 10 years old. You're listening to what mom and dad are listening to on the radio, phonograph, maybe 8 tracks. Or if you have older siblings, you're listening to what they're listening to. What were you kind of tuning in? What were they listening to that you liked?
Surprisingly enough, when I was about that age, like, between 8 and, well, actually even to now, but when I started about listening to music from about 8, my dad worked in the motion picture industry as a projectionist. And of course he had a lot of movie soundtracks. And I was listening to stuff like Eddie Cantor and Al Jolson and that sort of thing, and got right into all that. And I enjoy it today. It's just something that I grew up with. And then I put motion picture soundtracks, so John Williams and all that sort of thing. You name it. I've had a really sort of smorgasbord of musical entertainment growing up, and I still have that today. It wasn't until I hit like the early teens when I think I was maybe 12, late 12, almost 13, and someone got me a copy for Christmas of Quattro, Suzi Quattro's album, and that was, that'll do. I like this.
Suzi Quattro, oh, yes, I remember, my friend. And 12 seems to be that age where we grasp onto what we want to listen to, and we just stick to it, and we move on, and definitely. Now, you're a bass player. What age did you pick up the bass?
Let's see, I was in late 1978, 8th grade. That's so many years ago. I'm about 13. I think it might have been 13. Yeah, it would have been 13. Yeah.
Okay, that's about the same age as me. 12 years old when I got my first guitar, and took me a while to figure that damn thing out. But I was the best air guitar player out there. Believe me, I was a pro.
Oh, The hardest part about playing air guitar is if you break a string.
Right, exactly, man. So yeah, so bass. Okay, well, what made you go to the bass guitar? Why not drums or guitar?
The funny thing is, a lifelong best friend of mine, like I've named David. I've known David since we were both. He lived 2 doors up. I've known him since we were 6, and we're still in touch. And we're actually putting a side project together, sort of as we speak. Um, David bought a Les Paul before I could get one, so he was the guitarist. And if we wanted to jam anything, we had to have a bass player. So I went and I got a knockoff P bass, and we basically jammed every Kiss album that we had at the time. Dressed to Kill and all those favourite bass lines of mine by Gene Simmons, and some of the stuff that was popular in Australia at the time, and just learnt to play. But I think I had one guitar lesson, how to tune, and I said, "Yeah, okay, I know that. I'll take it from here." And that's basically what I've done.
Sounds like me. I had a couple of guitar lessons and wasn't teaching me what I wanted to learn. I wanted to be a rock star and not some classical creepy players. So I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with classic, but that wasn't me. Not at
Yeah,
all. I want to rock and roll.
I
Now
think that's
you
that's
mentioned Kiss.
mm,
All right. Yeah, now Kiss is one of my favorite bands. First album I ever got. Oh yeah, back in '77, definitely. Greatest thing in the world. So
yeah.
let me ask you this. I'm going to give you three Kiss songs. I want you to tell me what would be your favorite out of these three:
Okay.
Strutter, Black Diamond, Cold Gin.
Ooh, okay. You don't make it easy, do you? I'm going to go from a bass player's perspective and say my favourite, as far as playing goes, would be Strutter as a bass player, because that's got a nice line to it. They're all great songs. I've been a Kiss fan since late 1976. Um, I've grown up with Kiss. I've still got most of their albums on vinyl or picture disc. I was lucky enough in my later years, when they first toured out here, I was working for a touring company, and I got to do. I basically worked for all my favourite bands doing backline. So I worked for Kiss twice. Worked for Judas Priest. I worked for Iron Maiden. Who also I worked for? I didn't do Motley Crue. Steel Panther.
Panther. Wow. Yeah, I got to work with Judas Priest, and I'm still a little peed off at them because back in those days we partied pretty hard, and they got me pretty trashed, and it wasn't funny. Not funny at all. No, no, no.
Just
So
Iron Maiden's road crew are the same, man. They're English, so they like their beer for a start. But oh my god, it's you do a show, you
you
bump
know,
up, and then they're on the drink, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys got a lobby call at 6 a.m. and you're on the piss. I'm like, holy crap.
right. All I can remember, you all right? No, I'm not all right. And then Rob had to go up, and get on stage, and of course, opens the show with starting that Harley up, and all that smoke came right down, and that just didn't even help. That just made it even worse.
One of my favorite, as I said, Kiss would be my favorite band, because I've grown up with them. I just love the
Me
music.
too.
Such a huge influence on how I play and what I play. But on the same note, I'm a huge fan of Ozzy, post Black Sabbath. Never really a Black Sabbath fan, but you bring in, Blizzard of Oz, Diary of the Randy years, and then on up through Jakey Lee, all of that stuff. I love all of that stuff. And I got to work with Ozzy on his Black Rain tour. Uh, Pretty much devastated me when I heard that he'd passed.
Wow,
Really,
wow,
because
wow, wow.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw Ozzy many a times, and like when Randy Rhoads passed, we cried quite a bit. Me and my friends, and then of course Ozzy passed, and it just breaks your heart, makes the tears come. And losing our icons, we're getting older, and they're starting to, go on, and it's very sad,
we're only
because nowadays you don't get superstars like we had back then.
no, you don't. That's true. It's like you can pretty much pick. everyone, so you see these questions pop up, which is the best era for music? Well, obviously that's going to be the era that you grew up listening to it the most. But I still
Right.
think for me, you've got my favorite era is the 70s, especially from 77 to 79. Bit of 72, 73, the early stuff, Quattro, I love the Sweet. And then what started all that for me is the 50s. So all the music from the 50s bands and doo-wop and all that sort of thing.
Right on, R&B and stuff. Well, I had to. Well, I lived with my grandmother and my mother, and I grew up with Lawrence Welk, and then became a trumpet player, trombone player, baritone, violin, all that stuff. And then then as I got older, I was like, okay, I got a Kiss album. This is what I want to do and be.
Same.
Right on. All right, let's continue on with the show here, my friend. Okay, so now you got the bass guitar around 12, 13 years old or so.
Yep.
Okay. Now between that time and 18, did you perform with any of your friends? Did you join a group band, get anything together at all, or just what happened?
We tried there was a group of mates from high school, probably ninth grade. One guy was a really good guitarist for his age, Mark, and there was Brad, and we had Neil on drum. Neil Chubbuck was a drummer, and he went on to do some really good things down south in Sydney. So we tried to put this band together. We played I think everyone does if they don't. I played a high school dance, and it went to shit. So we gave that away after that, and it was just basically sitting at home, learning stuff, honing my playing and things like that. And then
Lagging just a little bit. We gotta love this internet.
Oh, we're right.
So you're lagging, but you'll be back. Can you still hear me, my friend?
I can still hear you.
I'm sure you can. And you'll be back, of course. And if I have to talk to myself, I will. We'll do that. And,
Are we back?
Yeah, of course. Let's see here. What's going on here? Nothing's going on here. So, kind of, you froze up a little bit, brother. If you can hear me, go out and come back in.
Okay.
If you can hear me.
How do I do
Because you're
that?
froze. Can you hear me? No, you can't hear me, can you? There he goes. There, he heard me. All right, come back in. There you're back in. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I'm gonna remove you and I'm gonna add you. All right, you're offline. He's offline right now. How you doing? Everybody doing all right out there in podcast land? Hey, I appreciate everybody watching. We'll wait for Will to get back on. It's the internet thing, I mean, we're so far apart from each other, but we make it work. We make it work. He'll be back on in just a second here, and let me check a couple of things here. And he went off. He's probably going to click that link and come right back on. And that's how it works, live podcast, TV, radio. It's unedited. What happens, happens. And I don't like it when it happens, but you can't control technology. And it's a pain in the butt, especially back in the day when it was mostly analog and you had to run a lot of wires, a lot of this and that, and all these other contraptions and stuff. So we're waiting for Will to come back in. We'll just tell him to, come back in. Let's see, I'll tell him that. There we go. And we'll see what happens. So he'll come back in. So if you want to come on the No Cover TV podcast, right below is the email address and the website, nocovertv@usa.com. Let's get you on the podcast. Let's get you all over your story and your music all over the world. And I'm sure Will be joining us in just a second here. Let me see if he answered me. He saw the message, so that's a good sign. So, yeah, when he comes back in, we will start our conversation back where we started. We still got a lot of great questions to ask Will from, Black Whiskey. Kick-ass band out of Australia. You got to check them out. So just type in Black Whiskey, all caps, And listen, man, you're gonna be blown away by these guys' music, definitely. So, yeah. So we're waiting for him. He saw my message. We'll just wait for him to hit back in and come on, and we'll go from there. So here he comes. Here he is, and there's the man of the hour. He's
You got to love fucking technology, don't you?
yeah, I appreciate you letting me talk to myself.
Hey, I do it all the time.
You're right. Well, I'm my best friend, you know. Hey, I answer myself. Hey. So, all right, let's continue on. Okay, so you experiment a little bit at your younger ages, but we grow up. 18 hits. We got to get a job, start a family, go to college, go to work. We got to do this, that, or the other thing. So, what did you do?
Okay, I actually did my time as a mechanic, worked on heavy vehicles, and David and I started jamming seriously. Um, Twisted Sister, Wasp, Motley Crue, all the good stuff. And we decided that we were going to put a band together. So we found a friend, mutual friend from school, who was a drummer, and a damn good one, because his biggest influence was Tommy Lee, and he was just as good as Tommy Lee. So we put a band together and started playing Twisted Sister and Wasp and Rat and all the stuff that we listened to at the time.
Whoa!
And it actually came up really,
Wow.
we were pretty good.
Well, I bet you were to tour those guys. Now, let me ask you this question. You still have your spandex pants in the closet?
No,
No. Ain't no lying on me.
I've matured and I've gone leather pants, not spandex.
Leather pants you can't get off after you do a show because you sweat so damn much.
That's true. It's like peeling a banana.
That's great. So you got to jam with some awesome people. I mean, like you said, Striper, Faster Pussycats,
Yeah.
even the Iron Maidens.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
the Iron Maidens that's a saga unto itself. We actually were going to do the support, and we were booked. Got to be at least 3 times. This is due, and then of course COVID fucked it all up. And then all of a sudden they are coming out, and the touring company that's bringing them out, who will remain anonymous because he's a prick, booked another band. So
Not good.
it
Not
would have
good.
been nice. But, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And back in that day, that's why I got a big nose. Used to get in quite a bit of fights. So, I played from 85 to 97, hung them guitars up, and decided it's time to promote the music. Definitely, my friend.
I had a bit of a break. I think I sort of stopped being serious maybe 92, about 92.
92, really? Oh, okay.
About 92, I got into a relationship, you idiot. And then, things happened, and then I was always still playing, but it wasn't sort of in a band situation. And then, lo and behold, time passes. And people
Yeah,
move on.
exactly. Right.
Actually, I ended up living in America for like 6 years.
Oh, really?
2001 to 2000, late 2006, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I mean, I still play the guitar, but not for anybody out there, just for myself. But okay, let's talk about Black Whiskey. All right. Now, let's say how long ago again? When did you start this project, Black Whiskey?
Too long.
Too long. Not too long, he says. I love it. Okay.
In its current form, and this has probably been the most stable and the most productive lineup of the band, its namesake. 2018, like I said, we started rehearsing some songs. that they're all original. And then we scored a support gig with Striper and sort of haven't looked back. COVID stuffed things up a bit. I think the first year the band was playing when we were touring, I think we went 6 months. It mightn't sound like much, but for a little Australian band, like 30, 37 or 40 shows in 12 months is pretty good. And
that's real good. That's real good. Yeah. And like you said, you know, COVID was hard on a lot of bands, a lot of venues, and you really had to stick it out if you really wanted to get through it. And you guys stuck it out, definitely. That's great. That's really great.
We kept in touch. We kept writing, and then when, of course, you could finally come together. We have our own purpose-built studio that we rehearse and we record in. So when we could get back into our studio, we started working up the album, which is The Last Temptation.
The Last Temptation. That's brand new right there. Why don't you tell everybody out in podcast land where they can find that album and everything about Black Whiskey? Where can they go?
You can go to our Facebook page, Black Whiskey. You'll see my big head and a couple of the other guys, so you'll know you're on the right page. And then if you go down through I think it's the bio section, there's all the links to our official website. The official website has the merch store, and you can get the album. We've got a special thing going at the moment. We're releasing a limited amount on vinyl. And it's
vinyl, yeah, liking that. I see more people actually going back to vinyl because that was the greatest time was when we had vinyl. Oh, and I still have all my vinyl. Oh yeah.
you get a proper size book. You got an inner sleeve with all liner notes and the lyrics are on it, and that's just how it should be. You know, this is cool. Like, you know, to have an album out on CD, but to have an album out on vinyl to me is pretty fucking cool.
You can add so much to a vinyl, definitely, and it really impresses the purchaser. Definitely, it does. It really does. Now, are you guys? Do you put out your singles and then put an EP out? How are you working this with the music?
So we've got another EP in the works. We've got backing vocals to do. It's pretty much all tracked. I've tracked all the bass. The guitars are done. The lead vocals are done. Drums are done. I think we're going to do some backing vocals. Try to. And then our production crew, who we split it up. We've got Michael James, who's an awesome, awesome producer. He is basically our Bob Ezrin. He's based in San Francisco. He's worked with 6am, L7, Hole, you name it. He's done a lot of really well-known bands, and he's our lightning in a bottle. And we've got a local production crew at Glasshouse Studios, and that's Angus. And he also gives us what we want. So he gives us the sound. Like a lot of guys will say, well, what do you want to sound like? We just say, well, think Rose Tattoo.
And we get it. Now, let me ask you this. Now, you go in the studio to lay down your tracks, and your engineer does the rest?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you.
We ship the stems off to Michael in the States, and then we'll have a think tank session like this over the internet, and he'll mix something, he'll shoot it through. What do you think? A bit more reverb on the vocals, bring the bass up a bit. The guitar's too there, and he'll just tweak it and fine tune it until we're happy with the mix. And then what we normally do is we send our stuff to be mastered at DNA Mastering, which is in Los Angeles, and he's actually on the board of the Grammys. Dave Donald.
All right. Well, let me ask you. Now, let me ask you, we're old school. When I like to go in the studio and record, I like analog. Do you add any analog to your music, or is it all digital?
It's predominantly digital, but there is analog involved in it as well. When it comes to, this is the wonders of technology. Michael can actually put an analog mix on the stems that we send him so that they sound better on vinyl,
Yeah,
and they sound
very true.
all around.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if we're not actually recording to tape, by the time we get to the mixing of it, it's all like it was recorded on tape. And it's surprisingly enough, you actually can hear the difference, and it makes it. I think everyone says to me, vinyl has this warm, full, ballsy sound, and it's different to a CD. When you listen to a record, you instantly know that's vinyl. It's warm. It's got a different sound.
Exactly. It's warm. That's why I like analog. I miss my old tube amps. I love the humming sound. I love picking up AM radio stations once in a while. I might
Yep.
get a poke off the microphone. It's all good. It was the way it was.
The old days were the
The
good
old
days.
days, yeah, right. So back in those days, did you guys used to pop the trunk and pull out the posters, put them on the telephone poles, and pass out cassettes?
We did. We would back in the when that was big. We're talking when I was in my old band Vice. We're talking 85 to 92. That was the main one, getting your band's name and your gig out there, was putting them up on power poles, and you go to an intersection and put it on the side of the junction box for the lights. And usually we'd meet at our Singer Peters place at about 11:30.
Right. It was like a competition. You put your flyer on a car, then the next band's behind you ripping yours off and putting theirs on, and it was just back and forth, back and forth. I loved it.
Class all over the top.
Right. Times have changed, haven't they, my friend?
It's all done on the computer and that sort of. We used to actually have to go get artwork done up and have someone print them. That was the thing, and it wasn't always cheap.
No, it wasn't. My singer would draw them up, and then we'd have them print them up, and then we'd put them out there. Yeah, it was great. So now is Black Whiskey playing out quite a bit?
We've had it quiet this year. We did a big gig at the beginning of the year called Rock Is Not Dead. That was a festival with a few other bands here in Brisbane. And then we sort of stopped doing any sort of live stuff and concentrated on the new stuff for the record. So we've got all that done now, and now I've actually just started to look at booking shows interstate for the beginning of next year. So we'll be in Melbourne in 2026.
2026 Melbourne. So you're getting everything set so you can go out there and kick some ass.
Absolutely. We've been down there before. We loved it. We get a good audience in Melbourne. We get a good audience in Sydney too. It was a flip of the coin as to whether to go to Sydney or to Melbourne, and we thought, let's go to Melbourne. There's a cool metal band down there that I know that we'll hook up with and do a few shows with them. That they've actually been around since my old band was back in the 80s, and they're still going. So we'll team up with some bands down there and do a few gigs and make some fun of it. Might go to New Zealand later on.
Good. Now, would you like to get out of Australia, tour America or Europe?
Let's go Europe. Let's go to Europe. Not that we don't want to tour America. It's fucking impossible to do it legally. If you want to get,
it is a pain in the ass.
To get your entertainment visas to go and tour in America, you basically got to be as popular as Elvis.
It costs a lot of money. Yeah, it does.
It is expensive. Whereas a lot of the European places, it's basically book the venues, and as long as you can get there, that's the thing. We're all self-funded. No one actually gives us any advances for anything, or we don't get paid to go on tour or anything like that. So it's what we can afford to do as best we can is what we do.
Exactly.
I'd love to go. Absolutely.
Well, I look forward to that, my friend. So now, let's see what else. I've got some fun questions I want to ask you and stuff, and I'm not sure where I want to start and how much of this, how big of a spot I want to put you on here. Well, how long have you been with Curtain Call Records?
2000 and I want to say 2021, something like that. It's been a few years. Yeah,
Good,
few years.
good, good
And they've
guys.
been good help us get the music out there and putting it on the platforms and all that. The hardest thing for us having a label that's on the other side of the planet is they're putting on all these festivals and all that sort of thing, and we can't get there. That's the hardest thing. It would cost us.
You can't get there, right? Yeah. Well, your music's getting around the world because it kicks ass, brother. Your music is awesome. Oh
Thank you.
yeah, I want to talk about a couple songs. Can we do that? Let's talk
Sure,
about a couple songs. All right, now, "Raising Hell." Talk to me about that song.
That sort of harkens back to our youth. Friday night, getting in the car with your mates, driving to the city, getting shit faced, causing havoc, and going
I know
home.
all about that. Oh, I love it, man. See, me and you need to get together. I think me and you can party good.
I think
Oh, brother, okay. So that's "Raising Hell." Okay, let's talk about this song. "Vixen." Tell me about that. What's that about?
that's an Al. Al wrote that one. I think his mindset was like, you get the the stereotypical the hot chick, and she goes to a club and everyone's eyeballing, I want to hook up with her, and she's like, I'm just here for a good time, blah blah blah. And I think that was his premise, was sort of around he's trying to get into his female side, I think.
That's wonderful. All right, one more song, and then we're going to get to some fun questions here. Let's go to "Wild and Free." Who wrote that? What's that about?
Wild and free is what everyone should sort of have the expectation or aspirations of, getting out on the open road and just enjoying life and having fun, not getting into too much trouble, but just living it the way you want to live it. Basically, no rules. You're not listening to people that no one's telling you what to do. And that song actually was our lightning in a bottle. When that was released, only a few people sort of know, but when that song was released, we released it prior to Curtain Call being involved with us, so it was all off our own bat. There's a station in Detroit that picked that song up.
Wow,
Within
that's
three
great.
weeks, we'd knocked Alice Cooper from the #1 spot.
Detroit, of all places. I'm from Michigan. I lived in
Yeah.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Well, you know how popular Alice Cooper is in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we just came along with Wild and Free and knocked him off the #1. Sorry, Alice. I'm a huge fan, but you've got to do what you got.
Right on, my friend. Okay. All right, now we talked about a few songs here, but now I got some questions I got to ask, okay? Bear with me. And let's just say nobody's watching, okay? So you don't have to worry. Okay, here we go, my friend. I'm going to start out easy, okay? I'm going to let you have two answers on this question right here. Two answers, okay? All right. I want you to think around the world. Now, what two stages would you or Black Whiskey like to step on and perform on? Any two stages in the world.
Okay. I know we're not a metal band, but I'd love to play Wacken as one of them, and maybe
Yes.
Nebworth.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, Whack would be great. I could see you, my God, there's so many places.
There are. Rose Tattoo have played Wacken a few times, and they're not a band, but they're sort of like in the same vein. We're in the same vein as them, so Wacken would be one of them. Yeah.
Let's get you to Madison Square Garden. Why not?
Hell yeah. Yeah. The end,
Yeah.
not end of the road tour.
All right, let's move on to the next question, my friend. This is great. Two answers on this question right here, and this is about people.
Okay.
Now, I want you to talk about one person that's alive and one person that's passed away. Out of these two people, who in your heart would you and Black Whiskey like to perform with?
Okay, so the first one that for me, and I think for most of the guys, obviously the first one would be the one that's passed, and that would be Ozzy. Absolutely, Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, for sure. And
I agree, brother. I agree.
and for bands that for someone that's alive, I'll say a band rather than an individual, and it may seem a bit strange, but there's a band around at the moment that I've been a fan of for quite a while called Kicking Valentina, and I would really like to do a couple of shows with them because those guys are real high energy, you know.
Sure.
Either that or Alice Cooper. Let's just let's throw it out there.
Why not, man? Why not, brother? Hell yeah. That'd be great. That'd be great, my friend. Let me ask you this. Throughout your years of performing, what's the largest crowd you've performed in front of?
Oh, wasn't a massively big crowd. When we opened for Striper, that was sold out. I think there's maybe 1,200, 1,300 people in that venue. Hang on, I tell a lie. We do these benefit shows because we like to help out. There's one that we did called Rockin' for the Homeless.
Oh yeah,
that was a big show. What was one of the other ones that we've done? Rocking for Bushfire Relief we did a few years ago because we had a real bad spate of bushfires and people were losing their homes, a bit like the LA one. So
that's terrible.
And there's some good crowds at those too. So usually it's a festival, and then of course the Rock Is Not Dead festival that was packed too.
Okay, so anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 people, possibly, or maybe more. Okay, all right. So on this question, it's going to pertain to you being on stage in front of, say, 3,000 people. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now you get on stage. You strap on your bass, they strap on their guitars, everybody gets ready. Either a curtain drops or you guys just start jamming. That crowd turns around and they say, what the They just start hitting the stage and they're starting to jam. They're raising the horns. They're getting ready. They're partying with you. They love hearing your music. And you see this, and you might even see them singing your songs to you. Now, when you see this, how does it hit you and your heart and make you feel, brother?
It makes me feel fantastic. And the more that happens, the more I give back to the crowd. If they start really getting into it, you'll see us jumping around, engaging the crowd, engaging the audience, because they're the reason you're here to start with. You're on stage because those people put you there. You could be playing to an empty hall, but those people are here to hear your music. So you give them everything you can so that they leave enjoying themselves and they got their money's worth.
It doesn't matter whether it's one person or 10,000. You play the same way, and every smile hits you in your heart, and it stays there. You remember them all. You really do.
I can remember we had one gig where it wasn't. It was a multi-band show, and we were on last. We were headlining it, and there were a couple of bands on before us, and they weren't that great. And the crowd sort of went, they're pretty shit. And they started to leave. And they're thinking, oh my God, this isn't working out well. But anyway, by the end of the night, there were like a handful of people, the bar staff and all that. They loved it. We gave everyone the show that we could put on, the biggest show
that they wanted to see.
Exactly. That's how it works.
Right, exactly, man, exactly. And it seems like to me, Black Whiskey, you're the type of guys that put on a hell of a show, and you stick around afterwards, and you meet everybody and every fan, and you don't just leave.
I've always said, and I'll say it again, if anyone's at one of our shows, don't feel funny and not come up and say, introduce yourselves. We're just normal, buffheads that play music. Come up and say hi and mingle, hang about, have a chat.
Yeah, we're somewhat normal. I mean, to be in the music business, you got to be a little nuts upstairs, but it's all right. It's all good.
We've got those in other members. That's fine. I'm the sane one.
That's
To a
great, my
point.
friend. That's funny. Now, Mark's the drummer, right?
Yeah,
All right. Um, how many times does Mark throw a stick and nail one of you guys?
he's been warned. He's done it. He's done it a couple in the early days. Playing away. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, so yeah, that doesn't happen as much these days. I've copped a few. Um, yeah, absolutely. I
That's
told him,
funnier than hell.
I say, mate, if you're going to have a stick, make sure it hits Al.
Right. Yeah, my drummer used to lay me out all the time. It's like then I got used to, going, hey, I know it's coming. I know when it was coming, but yeah, the son of a bitch.
You
Yeah.
get an idea. You get an idea in your head of what he's going to start playing, and like, okay, there's a bit of cymbal involved in that. I shall just move stage
Right.
right.
It's going to slide and
I'm
go,
out of
bang.
fire, so you can let rip.
That's great. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you still have that first bass guitar?
I don't. I don't.
You don't.
Well, the first one I had, I don't regret not having it because it was only, I don't like to say it was a cheap knockoff P bass because it was, but it was the first bass I learned to play on. So there's a bit of sentimental value there. My first
Right.
good bass that I had was a 1982 Japanese-made Ibanez Destroyer 2.
Ooh.
And I really,
Nice. Very
I
nice.
paid,
Okay.
I paid 615 for it, brand new, in case.
Okay. All right.
Now you go
Now,
on retail and it's like $5.
right. So how many bass guitars do we have on hand?
22.
22.
Yep.
Okay. Are you married?
Yep.
She hasn't divorced you yet, has she?
Actually, Joe's the silent majority with all the. She does all the website and the Facebook page, and if we're going interstate, she'll book the flights, she'll book the equipment on the planes, the hotel, the accommodations, the venues, the transport to and from the hotel. We'd be up shit creek if it wasn't for her when we leave. We'd be like,
Well, let's give her a big shout. Give her a big shout out. What's her name?
Joe.
Joe. Big shout out to Joe.
Shout
That's
out
a
to
lot
Joe.
of work, man. Thank you.
We'd be sitting in the fucking airport still waiting for it.
That's awesome. Oh, wow. Where were we at? 48 minutes. All right. I'm going to hit you up with a couple more questions, then we're going to wrap it up. From the bottom of my heart, my friend Will, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Thank you. I really appreciate it, brother.
Thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
All right. Well, let's get on with a couple more questions before we get out of here. Now, this question, I'm thinking had to happen because you're a rock band, and it usually happens to all my rock bands or metal bands. Any embarrassing moments you can remember?
Have you seen Spinal Tap? We've lived it.
Right. I
We've
know what you
had-
mean.
My Spinal Tap, well, I've had two that I can remember that were real bad. We're playing the, which festival was it? It was a big festival at a well-known venue at Mansfield Tavern. Rock Beats Depression, I think it was. And we're playing away and we're getting right into it. And next thing, I've got no sound. My bass has stopped working. I was like, what? The wireless is okay. I turned around and my amp head has vibrated off the top of the cabinet and gone face first onto the stage. And it was
See ya.
that was one of them. And then when I went on tour with my old band Vice to Sydney, you remember that scene in Spinal Tap where they get lost backstage? We got lost backstage. We go this way. No, it's that way. No, the silence. No, we got
Going in circles. Just it's that door. No, it's that door. No, you go up that ramp. No.
Yeah. And because it was, we didn't know the venue. We were in Sydney. We'd never been there before. I'm like, holy fuck, what do we do? And our drummer at the time, Scotty, he opened the door up. And I don't know how we got, but there was a staircase on the other side of the doorway, which actually went down to the backstage area. So we started to go down there. We got about halfway, and he went arse over halfway down the staircase. And I thought, oh, but he's dead.
Oh no, no, no. Oh man, that's a definitely Spinal Tap moment right there, brother. Oh man, whoa. I think we all have a little bit of those. All right, before we get out of here, my friend, I'm going to ask you two other questions. In 5 years, where do you want to see Black Whiskey with the music?
I would love for it to go to sort of broaden our horizons and mature as a band musically. So, you know, a lot of bands, they'll stay sort of playing the same sort of style or the same sort of, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would like to sort of mature and branch. You know, we've got a song on this thing. And it's Break Me. And it's more of a freaking it's more of a jazz lounge feel, and then of course the chorus kicks in and it's pretty heavy. But it was just something different. It's got a swing beat to it, which is a nice sort of skiffly type thing. And basically touring the world.
Conquering the world. Black Whiskey is going to conquer the world in 5 years. So look out, everybody. And again, one more time, tell them where they can find your music and how to get a hold of that EP there.
Okay, so we are on Spotify. So look up Black Whiskey on Spotify. You'll find us there. I think obviously we're on the other platforms too, but I'm not exactly sure I think there's Deezer, Apple, whatever the other ones are. Most of the major platforms we're on it, but my go-to is Spotify. We've got a Reverb Nation page, which we're currently #1. And then if you look us up on Facebook, you'll find the links to the website where you'll find merch and more info on the band. And
there you go. So you can find Black Whiskey everywhere. You might even find them on MySpace. Ooh, hey. MySpace. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness. All right, last question before we get out of here, my friend. This has to do with the younger folks out there. You got any advice for these kids out there that want to do what me and you do?
Don't do what your heart wants you to do, and don't take shit from anyone.
Don't take shit from nobody, man. Believe in yourself. Do it your way, and make sure dreams do come true, don't they?
Oh, they do. No prisoners, no compromise.
No, man, just do it your way. And I'm sure you've encountered this like I have. You're going to get a lot of assholes that'll come into your life and promise you the world, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
no.
Absolutely.
Not at all.
Or you'll just get a lot of assholes that just want to be assholes.
Just become one and then you don't have to deal with them. So, anyways, like I said, youngsters, do it your way. Don't listen to anybody. It's your music, your sound. It's just you, man. So do it. Yeah. And if you're in this to make money or $1 million, you keep your day job. All right.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. The days of making millions and having advances from labels, it's gone.
It's gone. Those days are gone. Yeah, those days are gone, my friend. So, like I said, Will, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming on the podcast today. I'd love to have you back on. I'd like to see all the boys eventually, maybe in 6 months or a year. So let's get all you guys on.
Absolutely. Getting them together is like holding fucking cat.
Well, then that means I'm going to have to pick on each one of them. So we'll do it, brother. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this passed around everywhere I can, and I'm going to send you the link. It's live on YouTube. It'll always stay on YouTube. Promoted, my friend. I appreciate it so much. And you need anything, you know how to get a hold of me, all right?
Thanks, Al. Much appreciated. Thanks to all the listeners and No Cover TV. We appreciate your support. And hopefully we'll see you at the Black Whiskey show down the track.
You got it, brother. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, brother. All right. Tell everybody, peace. We're out of here.
Peace.
Peace.